Hello everyone. Some questions come up always when we discuss Tantra massage. One of the most common questions that I receive is, what exactly are the obstacles that a person may encounter when trying to receive a Tantra massage and would like to reach those type of energy orgasms or energy peak moments that many of you have heard of. So people say, I would like to experience that, but I can't. Why is it that I can't get there? Let's understand what are the reasons behind it. Well, first of all, I would say reason number one would be that the person is having in their system a lot of impurities. This is not a slight on anyone, just to be clear. It's just the fact that many of us living in this modern environment, in cities, being exposed to pollution, either air pollution, water pollution, food pollution, then that will accumulate within the body, either in the form of toxic chemicals, or in the form of heavy metals, or in the form of disruption to the cellular function by electromagnetic frequencies, or because of eating lots of junk food, or because of eating bad food that causes further problems in the body, such as overweight and all kinds of neurological problems, digestive problems, the list goes on. And the more this accumulates within the body, and it does for many of us, even if you think, oh no, that doesn't apply to me, I'm a vegetarian or I'm a vegan, therefore I'm pure as snow, you're not. Yeah, I know it's challenging to hear, but you're not. The thing is that many of us are exposed to a variety of impurities. I could talk about this for like 10 minutes non-stop, just the amount of impurities or toxins that we're exposed to these days, but I don't want to bore you with too much technical information, so just take my word for it for now or do your own research. Having a lot of impurities in the body, not to mention people that have a lot of bad lifestyle, like smoking, drinking a lot of alcohol, doing drugs, or anything else that people may do out there, that obviously will add much more to the toxic load within the body. When a person comes with all these toxins flowing through the body, perhaps embedded within our fatty tissues or our joints or wherever it is, the body tries to store them away so you can still function. The final result is that the channels of energy within the body and the channels of physical fluids that are within the body, such as your blood vessels and various other, like lymphatic system and so on, they are blocked to one degree or another. And when we experience these blockages, if a practitioner of Tantra massage is trying to work with your energy, send the energy through your body, bring about a more higher frequency of energy, perhaps even leading at some point to a tantric experience known as an energy orgasm. For you to actually experience those things, you need to have open pathways within the body. What did I just say? You're loaded with toxins. There's no surprise that it'll be very difficult for that person to feel much. It's as if you're trying to push water through a blocked pipe in your backyard. You want to water your plants, but there's a lot of debris within the hose and the water just doesn't come through, only a trickle. And that makes it, when we talk about the human body, that only minor energy effects can be perceived or experienced if the person has a lot of impurities. And that is why one of the solutions that I highly recommend for people who want to go there, want to feel these wonderful experiences, but don't manage to, is go ahead and research how to detox your body, approach holistic clinics or anything you have the ability to research or find out, and start detoxing yourself. From colon detox to liver detox to a variety of other detox methods which are out there. Flush those toxins out of your body. One of the best ways, by the way, that I recommend for detoxing is by doing the actual traditional tantric form of yoga, such as the authentic yoga that we teach. And we also incorporate in our tantric form of yoga a lot of what we call Kriya Yoga, which is basically the yoga of purification, where a variety of very powerful ancient methods of purification are taught. And by doing that, after some time, as you keep purifying your body, you'll notice that the toxic load in the body diminishes considerably, and now you have room to perceive the energy, and yes, perhaps at some point you'll feel the energy orgasm as well. The second blockage or limit or problem that can stand in your way of experiencing the tantric orgasm is what we would call energetical blockages. Not only that our body can have all kinds of toxins, as I just mentioned, but also what we call in Tantra the energy body. That part of your body which is not flesh and blood, the tissues and the material part, but actually the life force, what they call in India the prana. This part of your body, which has been studied very deeply in the tantric tradition. Actually, in Tantra, we clearly state that there are 5 bodies connected to your being, the physical body being just one of them. It's a fascinating topic. You should really study it with us when you have a chance. But one of them is also what we call the energy body. And that means that energetically, there can be certain areas in your body where the energy flow cannot move properly because there's an energy blockage there. What could cause energetical blockage? The list is long. Various physical injuries can do that. Even surgery, in some cases, can create a blockage in the energy. There could be a variety of surgeries that people can go through. But also, energy blockages can be created because of other factors. Those factors involve being exposed to a very strong disruptive energy in the form of electromagnetic frequencies, or even sometimes in the form of another person that somehow negatively affects you. Or there could be other reasons that I can't go into right now. They're a little bit on the secret side of Tantra. But the bottom line is, when those energetical blockage exists there, then what happens is that maybe your body is more open for energy to move through, but the energy channels, and in yoga it is stated in the ancient tantric yogic texts that every human being actually has 72,000 channels of energy within the body. They are called in Sanskrit nadis. And when some of them, especially the more main or central channels, if there are blockages, energetical blockages there, which can happen, then it would be very difficult for the energy to flow properly, and therefore that beautiful tantric experience that we call the tantric orgasm, in the sense of a whole body healing experience with the tantric orgasm, will be very difficult to blossom and to experience there. So that would be the second obstacle. How would you solve it? Tantric yoga practices, the specific Hatha yoga practices in the tantric tradition, are extremely powerful in reattaching these so-called broken channels of energy, or limited or blocked channels of energy. And also the tantric massage practice itself that we teach, there are specific techniques in tantra massage that you can learn as a therapist, how to reattach certain energy channels, how to redirect and sometimes go and bypass certain blockages energetically in order to create an energy flow and to restore energy to move in the right way. And then the problem can be solved. The third reason why many people might sense that for them the energy orgasm is not easily achievable is what we would call psychosomatic blockages, or in the tantric terminology we'll refer to it as astral blockages. This is a very big topic that I cannot go into in details in such a short video, but I would like to share briefly. The body is not just isolated physical structure as many of us know. We have the mind-body connection, especially that part of the mind that we call emotions. And when emotionally a human being has had traumas or various emotional incidents in their lives that were profound yet damaging, what we find is that the emotional trauma or the emotional event that happened in whichever time, could have been years ago in your childhood, has left a mark. It left a blockage in certain areas in the body. And then, even if your body is pure, you could be a person who eats very healthy and doing a lot of detox. You could be a person that even energetically is more or less okay, but emotionally, that means psychosomatically, there is a blockage because of a trauma or some sort of emotional event. That will be another type of blockage But because this is so abstract for many people to perceive, how come just because somebody upset me, or I don't know, I've had a certain trauma emotionally in the past, now I can't feel an orgasm, or now I can't feel... It's exactly how it works. In fact, it can go so far as sometimes we find that in Tantra they say that some women who are frigid, actually it is because of an astral blockage, or what we would call a psychosomatic blockage. Modern sexology would tell you that it's something to do with perhaps problems with the structure of the genitals, or maybe some other issues in the person's life. But the reality is, according to Tantra, that there would be a blockage at the level of the astral structure of the human being, specifically related to what we call in Tantra the heart chakra. So that's why, indeed, those astral blockages could be a real issue. How do we resolve that? How do we overcome this type of limitation? The answer is, again, the tantric practices that we do, not only the Hatha Yoga practices and Kundalini Yoga practices that we do in Tantra, they help a lot, but more than that, here, a very powerful way to overcome that is to actually study beyond the level of Tantra massage, to actually study tantric sexuality. Because by learning how a person with their partner can practice sexuality in an energetical way, a sexuality that involves transfiguration, which involves a different approach emotionally to each other, even doing certain rituals together and maybe doing some meditations together, and then making love tantrically with controlling the energy and all the rest that we teach in tantric sexuality. This, in my experience, have been one of the most effective ways of removing psychosomatic blockages, or what we call astral blockages. So that's the third limitation. What would be the number 4 limitation? Here, I would simply define it as what we call in the tantric tradition, karmic blockages. Now, the subject of karma is really fascinating and unfortunately usually misunderstood. Most people simply think that karma is another way of saying you have bad luck. Oh, bad karma, somebody stole my car, or somebody, I don't know, got a good job. Oh, you have good karma. And that's how we understand it, very superficially. But actually, the subject of karma is studied as part of the tantric tradition in what we call the path of karma yoga. Karma is one of the most fascinating topics that we share, and this is a teaching that I actually go into in a lot of details in our studies of Tantra. But what I'd like to share with you briefly here is that the tantric teachings say that karma is actually a universal law, the law of cause and effect, what we call action and reaction. In this law, we can go into a lot of details on how karma actually functions. What happens within the human being when we do certain actions and produce specific karma. Karma is actually not somebody punishing you. It's simply your own actions in the past that are now bringing forth the reactions that will always be there. It's like the swing of the pendulum. When a pendulum moves one way, we know that because of the laws of nature, it will swing the other way exactly in the same amount. And in this way, it means that every action that we do in life will produce inevitably an equally proportionate reaction. Now, that might seem silly for the materialistic average individual, but the truth is that that is a phenomenon and a study. It's a whole system in yoga that really opens your eyes to why every single event takes place in your life. Nothing is random, nothing is accidental, because of the understanding of the structure of reality from the perspective of karma. Now, coming back from this wild metaphysics to the subject of, is that a blockage or some limitation that can hold you back from achieving the wonderful orgasm that we talk about in Tantra? The answer is, if an individual in previous times, either in this life, and the yogis would even say perhaps in your previous life, if you believe in reincarnation, you may have done certain actions that were negative. As a result of that, you may have produced a negative reaction, what we call a negative karma, perhaps even a specific one, which we call a negative sexual karma. And then even if other levels of your being are fine, body's okay, your energy's okay, even emotionally you're kind of okay, but you're noticing that some, I know it sounds mysterious, but it's as if some mysterious force is holding you back from achieving this kind of energy. It's as if synchronicity makes it so that it just doesn't happen to you. If you notice that this weird thing is happening to you, you're getting a Tantra massage, the therapist is very good, everything works fine, but you just can't get that amazing experience, it could be that we're talking about a karmic blockage. Question: what would be the remedy to that? How can we resolve it? The answer is that with that, in Tantra, what we teach is specific techniques involving the use of very secret mantras, or using specific Kundalini techniques, or by using very unique Kriya Yoga techniques that can generate what we call in Tantra an accelerated burning of your negative karma. When you learn about these techniques, which we teach in our courses, then you realize that you have a very effective tool of counteracting that negative karmic energy which is blocking you. Doing that, you may release that and you'll start experiencing very positive experiences. If you're not at the level where those techniques are available to you, then there are other very simple or even basic ways to deal with karma. Those ways are known even in certain religions. They're mentioned how to, they call it sin, how to clean up your debt when it comes to sin. If you've sinned in the past, how can you resolve it? I leave the pleasure for you all to research a little bit into different religions if you're curious, or if you want, just come and study the tantric teachings with us, and we'll teach you even more down-to-earth, simple, relatively simple, but within your reach methodologies of counteracting negative karma that you may have, not just generally in your life, but specifically when it comes to these orgasmic experiences. So there you go. These are the 4 blockages or the 4 limitations that may stand in your way if you would like to achieve this type of tantric energy experiences that we call the energy orgasms. So don't fret, don't worry. If you notice that you have certain blockages or certain limitations, think which one of them seem to apply to you, or maybe more than one. Don't get discouraged. I know thousands of people that had variety of limitations and overcame them through those trainings that we offer. And then reach out to us and we'll give you some advice, and you can make a lot of progress very quickly. The solutions are there, and we are here to help you. Hope to see you in some of our teachings soon. Thank you.